Alright, so yesterday we decided whether or not something was a function, correct? Okay, how can we tell if something's a function? What do we look at? What do we look at, the x's or the y's? We look at the x's, and how do we tell? Yeah, if there's no repeating numbers in the x's, then it's a function, right? Alright, so today we're going to talk about it with the graph. Okay, so let's start with just a linear graph. Okay, and let's figure out how we're going to tell whether or not it's a function or not. Okay, so we got to figure out if any of the x's repeat. Okay, so if I have like x equals 4, this is where x is 4, right? Is there more than one point where x is 4? Nope, just that one right there. How about where x is -6? How many times does that go through? Just once. How about when x is 0? How many times does that go through? Goes through right there, yep. Okay, so just once. Alright, so this is how we tell whether or not it's a function. It is called the vertical line test. Okay, and if I draw vertical lines through my graph, okay, and each line only goes through the graph one time or intersects it once, then it's a function. Okay, so is there any vertical line that I can draw where it would go through this twice? Nope, there's not. So is this a function? Yes, this is a function. Okay, now we have to talk about domain and range. Okay, so domain are my x's or my y's? Are my x's. Okay, so if I look at this and my x's go this way, right? So if I look at this going this way, is it going to stop anywhere? Nope. So my domain is all real numbers . My range is my what? My x's or my y's? My y's. Okay, so if I look at it this way, is it going to stop anywhere, or is it going to keep going up and keep going down? It's going to keep on going, so my range would be all real numbers. Okay, that's supposed to be a circle. Bear with me. I was never known for my drawing skills. All right, so now vertical line test, because we have to say whether it's a function or not. Okay, if I draw a vertical line through this, how many times does that vertical line go through my circle? Twice. Once right there and once right there. So is it a function? All right, so not a function, because my vertical line goes through it twice. Everyone see how it goes through it twice? Okay, now my domain are my x's. So my domain goes from what to what? Goes from -6 to, to 6. Let's write that as the word 2 because it looks like a negative. Okay, so my domain goes from -6 to 6. My range is this way. 6 to -6, yeah. Let's say I have this rectangle. Function or not a function? Why is it not a function? Yeah, because if I draw that vertical line, it's going to go through it more than once. Okay, my domain, or my x's, goes from -3, I know it's hard to see from back there, to, I think it's a 6. And my range, or my y's, goes from -4 to, I think it's that would be -9. Right here. Yep, my outer limit. Okay, let's do y. Well, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we can say not a function. Yep. The vertical, yep.
So if
Yep.
you draw it on the edge, it would touch more than once, like on the edge of the shape. It would, yeah, look. Like
Go ahead.
right here,
Uh-huh.
it would touch like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Okay. Yeah, as long as it's more than once, it's not a function. All right, so my domain is my x's. So it goes from -5 to, okay. I didn't even plan that. My range is from, is it all the way up at 10? 9 to -6. Because you've got to go the lowest point. Okay? Because it goes lower than -5. Because that would be right there. And it's still a little bit lower than that, so we got to go right there. Okay? Okay, so the domain is where can my y's be? Okay, so my y's get cut off from there to there because my y's are up and down. Okay, so this graph goes from 9 all the way down to -6. Okay, my range is going to be my x's, so how far does it go across? And that goes from right there to right there. Okay, so this one, it goes from -5, right there, over to 5. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I have okay, so if I look at this, function or not a function? Function? Okay, so this is a function because my vertical line's only going to go through it once. Okay, now my domain, yeah, because those arrows are there, so this is for the y's, it's going to keep on going both directions, right? So my domain is what? All real numbers. My range, well, but is it going to be all real numbers? Where is this cutoff? Is it going to go below 0? No. So it's going to be all real numbers greater than 0, right? Because it's only greater than 0. So you could write it all real numbers greater than 0. Yep, so greater than or equal to 0. Or you could just write x is greater than or equal to 0. Either way is acceptable. Okay, so it can be kind of confusing, right? So you got to take a really good look at your graphs. Remember, this way is going to be your range. This way is going to be your domain.